valued at more than $400 billion, with some of the industry's biggest names under its umbrella.
It's the story of this company, but also the story of this man, Bernard Arnault.
For years, a Louis Vuitton bag wasn't just a fashion accessory. It was a membership into a special club. A club in which wealth wasn't simply calculated in terms of dollars and cents, but of access. Access that meant I have what everyone else can't even come close to. But something shifted. In the early 2000s, Louis Vuitton's sales went through the roof. More individuals than ever were purchasing their bags. They were no longer a status symbol for just the ultra-wealthy, but for the middle class, influencers, and even first-time luxury consumers. Louis Vuitton bags weren't exclusive anymore. They were everywhere. The market was saturated with them, and worse, counterfeits began popping up on every corner. To the general public, this was a huge success. A brand generating billions, but to the ultra-rich? This was a catastrophe. Because in the luxury world, if everyone can afford it, it's not luxury anymore. Luxury feeds off exclusivity. That's what distinguishes premium brands from everything else. When something becomes too prevalent, the magic is gone. It's no longer like that something special, but rather another thing to buy. And for Louis Vuitton, losing the status of being special is an absolute death. So what did they do? Something so shocking, so counterintuitive, yet so brutally effective. They began to burn their own bags, not once, not twice, but every single year. Yes, rather than clearance racking the unsold like regular brands, Louis Vuitton incinerates it. Millions of dollars worth of handbags, shoes, and accessories are burned to a crisp, or shredded, just to ensure that they never suffer a loss of their elite status.
Louis Vuitton burns their own bags and now they're losing millions of dollars. You might think that they wanted to try the burnt hole design like Balenciaga or that the bags were already broken, but you'd be very wrong. See, these are actually perfectly good luxury Louis Vuitton bags that they could profit millions from but choose not to. So then why would they burn their own bags? See, if they have a bag that isn't selling, they burn it instead of throwing it in the trash so that no homeless people can be seen wearing it.
Initially, this seems madness. Why waste lovely products? Why not give them away? Why not sell them cheaper? If you think this is wasteful, yes it is. But if you think this is a tactical business decision, yes it is. And as mad as it appears, this single action has contributed to making Louis Vuitton one of the most dominant luxury brands in the world. Most brands, when faced with unsold inventory, do the obvious thing: put it on sale. If a collection doesn't sell out, stores slash the price, run special promotions, or ship extra stock to outlet stores to clear out space for new arrivals. Louis Vuitton refuses to play that game. And for a very specific reason: discounting is dangerous for a luxury brand. The instant a product hits the shelves, it conveys one thing to customers: this brand is not as exclusive as it wants to appear. And in high fashion, perception is reality.
The rationale behind luxury brands' destruction of unsold products is rooted in their pursuit of maintaining exclusivity and upholding their esteemed image. These brands have carefully cultivated an air of exclusivity, positioning themselves as purveyors of elegance that cater to the elite.
Suppose you have just purchased a Louis Vuitton purse for $3,000, as if you're now part of the elite class. Then, after a month, you notice the same purse on sale at $1,500. What do you feel? You're a fool. You got duped into paying more than it's worth. And that's why Louis Vuitton doesn't have sales. They get it that most brands don't. Luxury isn't about being affordable, it's about wanting. If consumers think that an item will never lose value, they'll pay full price every time. There's no fear of missing a deal because there are no deals. But this reluctance to markdown presents a new issue. What happens to all that leftover merchandise that doesn't move? Louis Vuitton's solution? Burn it. Destroying unsold products appears to outsiders as insanity, perhaps even absurd. But it is actually a three-pronged strategy with three significant advantages. First, it guarantees scarcity. The less often the bags are available, the more special they become. If Louis Vuitton bags are never on discount, if they're never spotted in sale bins or on reduction racks, they're still scarce and coveted. Second, it helps preserve brand value. If never discounted Louis Vuitton bags don't lose their price sticker, they don't lose their value in the customer's minds either. The psychology is easy to understand. A product that's never discounted makes consumers feel as if it's always retaining value. And as long as customers believe that, demand remains stable. Thirdly, it saves on counterfeits and theft. Luxury bags tend to get stolen and retailed at affordable prices as counterfeits or as gray market goods. Destroying excess stock, Louis Vuitton wipes out the chance of their own bags overflooding the secondary market. The most astounding rationale for incinerating bags, though? It even saves them money. Louis Vuitton isn't merely burning bags to save face, they're profiting from it. This is where things get interesting. In France, the home of Louis Vuitton, there is a lesser-known tax regulation which permits businesses to claim unsold stock as a tax deduction, provided they destroy it. Yes, you heard correctly. By incinerating millions of dollars worth of bags, Louis Vuitton is not only being exclusive, they're also limiting their tax liability. Rather than losing money by offering their products at a markdown, they take them as a business loss, which means they reduce the amount they need to pay in taxes. So far as it appears they're burning profits, in fact, they are manipulating the system to their benefit. It's not garbage, it's a genius money-making decision. Ultimately, luxury is not about need, it's about power. No one requires a Louis Vuitton purse, but individuals desire one because it is an emblem, an indicator that they have arrived, that they are part of an upper echelon. And Louis Vuitton knows this more than anyone. Most companies set out to sell more. Louis Vuitton sets out to sell less, but maximize every unit. By maintaining high prices, not discounting, and burning off excess inventory, they build an aura of eternal value. Ironically, this makes their products more coveted. For in the luxury world, the fewer hands something must pass through, the more valuable it is. Of course, not everyone thinks this is genius. Critics complain that this plan is wasteful, immoral, and ecologically devastating. Why incinerate perfectly good merchandise when it can be given to those in need? Why burn materials that can be recycled rather than contributing to pollution? But here's the ugly truth. Louis Vuitton doesn't care. They don't want their bags to fall into just anyone's hands. Because if they did, it would ruin the very thing that makes their brand so strong. It sounds harsh, but that's luxury. If a Louis Vuitton bag were something anyone could have, even secondhand or through donation, it would lose its prestige. It would just be another handbag, and that's the one thing Louis Vuitton will never let happen. Louis Vuitton has perfected the art of exclusivity. While most brands attempt to sell more, they have constructed an empire selling less, but maximizing every unit. By not discounting and burning unsold stock, they have established an illusion of enduring value, where their products never depreciate and their brand never loses strength. And because of a loophole in the law, they don't even incur a financial loss doing it. It's ruthless, it's calculated, it's just a plain luxury strategy. So next time you see someone brandishing a Louis Vuitton bag, bear this in mind. It's not merely a bag, it's a billion-dollar illusion.